The U.S. Department of Transportation is providing ODOT with a $45 million low-interest loan to improve rural roads in the Sooner State. And as Steve Shaw reports, that's just the latest component of a program to improve roads and quality of life in rural Oklahoma.
Yeah, these seem to be typical in all 77 counties.
State Land Management Director Trampas Tripp and Conservation Commission engineer Valerie Rogers on Monday showed us a problem spot on East 5020 Road in rural Pawnee County. These circular culverts were placed here maybe 5 years ago when they replaced another structure that had washed away. Water that passes through here comes from a normally small waterway that dumps into nearby Ranch Creek. But when heavy rains come and it floods, Pawnee County Assistant Road Foreman Sean Farrar says, "Look out."
And until you've seen it firsthand, I didn't even really understand until you see water come through a creek and literally crush a culvert just like it was a beer can.
Because it happens.
It does.
Land Management Director Tripp says Pawnee County is not unique. This happens everywhere. These photos show other trouble spots in Lincoln, Pottawatomie, and Choctaw counties alone. The state is now coming alongside affected counties.
Yeah, this program is definitely getting more and more steam.
Last November, the Oklahoma Conservation Commission started what they call their Unpaved Roads program. They've got $1 million to work with in addition to that federal money. Individual counties can apply for $50,000 to $75,000 grants that each of those applicants has to match to finally shore up some major trouble spots. And factor this in. More than 70% of the roadways in the Sooner State are unpaved roadways.
We can't count them. Every day we're getting calls kind of that mimic this same scenario across the state. With our rainfall events we have anymore, this is becoming more of a problem every day after every rainfall.
Tripp says right now the state spends more than $2,500 a year per mile for road maintenance. These efforts, he says, will trim that expense. Since November, Tripp says the state has awarded $497,000 in grants to help fund 10 of these projects in Pawnee, Lincoln, Canadian, Logan, Pottawatomie, Pontotoc, Choctaw, and Cherokee counties. And they're looking for more partners.
The big thing we're looking at is trying to explain to allow the flow from upstream of these creeks to flow through these structures with minimal restriction. Because Mother Nature is going to do what it wants to do. So we're trying to educate the best we can to these county commissioners, county employees, to create structures to allow for the flow needed to reduce the backup of water.
It's been a constant problem. We've thrown money after money at it, trying to just keep the road passable for the public.
Conservation Commission engineer Rogers says Oklahoma is following the lead of Arkansas and other states that now focus on what is called environmentally sensitive maintenance practices.
Our main objective is the sediment. We build roads up. If you look at a lot of old county roads, they have deteriorated or just compressed. So what used to be up here is now down here. And the road basically serves as a ditch, and there is no ditch. The water comes off the pasture on the side to the road and it rolls down.
Tripp says these efforts raise the affected roadways, using culverts and bridges large enough to handle the water load. And you don't just spread gravel on top. He says history shows a lot of that ends up in the creeks. So instead, these counties are being advised to use giant rollers to pack it in and create ditches on either side.
You're exactly right. The cheap way out's a Band-Aid. But you know, when it comes to these county roads, they're vital for the rural areas. So you have to do what you have to do to get them opened up for traffic and school buses, emergency services.
Sediment, if you take care of the sediment, you improve the water quality. And when you improve the water quality, that helps us. Water treatment plants aren't going to be overrun with sediment. They can treat the water better, quicker, with less chemical There's a lot of good benefits to it.
Crews will begin the big fix here in Pawnee County, weather permitting, in about 2 weeks. They'll be finished by September. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Makes a lot of sense to me, yes. So like I said, if I can keep gravel on this road, then it'll save the county money.
It's going to get bigger and bigger because we're getting emails and calls every day for county commissioners hearing about this program, wanting to know what they need to do to receive grant funding.
Steve Shaw, the Oklahoma News Report.